Hello, I am Jim Bob and welcome to TSW Tuesdays, a new regular feature which we kicked off last week. We started off last week with the new Transpennine DLC. We also ran a vote at the end of the episode, which ran until yesterday, to decide which content pack we'd be running today, and overwhelmingly that response came back as the Long Island Railroad DLC, so we'll be running that today. Train Sim World actually did get a big update today for console players. The change list states that they improved the lighting model on locos and rolling stock when moving through tunnels to reduce the pulsing artifacts seen on the cab and train exterior surfaces. They also fixed an issue where certain achievements or trophies were not possible to obtain, and if you have already met the conditions to unlock those trophies but haven't got them, they will now automatically be rewarded to you. So that's good that they've fixed those two little issues there. And then they've also done specifically quite a few things to the Long Island Railroad itself. So they've updated the M7's marker, HVAC and coach lights. Park consists no longer have coach lights, HVAC or marker lights turned on. Consists in a running stopped preset. For example, the player spawned into an M7 in service mode should now have coach lights, etc., activated on both sides of the consist, and the AI should now drive with the cab lights off. They've also fixed an issue where the M7's brakes could not be released when changing ends. The M7's tracking effort and braking effort bar should now show green when accelerating and red when using dynamic braking. And the game should hopefully have automatically updated for you by now, but if it hasn't, at least especially on PlayStation 4, you can always just go onto the game symbol on your home page for your PS4, press the options button, scroll down to check for updates, and if you haven't already installed it, it will find it and start downloading it for you. So some nice little bug fixes there, but we're going to run in with the Long Island Railroad today, so let's fire this up. Take a look at what we're going to run today. Have I done all the scenarios for this? I don't think I have. Oh, I've only done one of them. I must have failed one. So let's see. What shall we start off with? Let's see. We could do the race day run, Suburban Sunset, Change at Jamaica was the one I tried and failed, I think. We've got maintenance maneuver as well. I think we'll start off with a bit of running. So we'll do the race day run to get us started, I think. Jason's in the chat. How you doing, Jason? Good to see you in here today. And you'll have to let me know if the volume levels are okay. There's always a risk that they get reset when the game has a big update. So if it is too noisy, please let me know, and we'll tinker with the sound settings again. Right, we're here at Jamaica. Where do we need to be? Waiting to get and there we go. Oh, we're on that platform. Okay, so we are on the wrong side. I had a feeling we might be. Let's make our way onto the other platform. There we go. There is our train. It's been a while since I've driven this one actually, so this could be could take me a little while to get back up to speed with this one. Go. Let's get the master key on. What do we got to do? Activate the master key, set the reverser. I want that in forward. We need the lights as well. I can toggle the lights. There we go. Get the headlights on. Let's go with bright lights. Charge the brakes to at least 90 psi. And let's get those doors open. Unlock left. Yes, there we go. So we've got Diamond Pro and Devon also in the chat. Good to see you guys. How are you both doing? Devon asks how my day is today. It's actually pretty good. I've had some fun starting the new Let's Play series for Genesis Alpha 1. If you haven't already seen that, please do check that out. First part of our proper playthrough went live today, with the game being launched this morning. I am offering you guys the opportunity to be part of the crew on that. So if you watch the video, you'll see how you can do that. You could be immortalised as part of my crew on the HMS Jim Bob, or HMS JBPG. Alright, let's get those doors locked. There we go, and off we go to Floral Park. Let's make sure our brakes are released. Get some power up and running. Let's see, we've got to be there 8:07. We've got 7 minutes to do 5.5 miles. That's quite a track. Let's just coast over the points. There we go. Always feels very weird looking out the window here. I'm so used to having kind of a central view, and yet with these trains, we are slightly offset of the rails. It always feels a little bit weird that we're kind of riding the very edge. It's almost like we're hanging off the side of the rails. Vanquisher and Renee have also popped in the chat. How are you guys doing? Alright, let's get a bit more speed up. That's quite a steep gradient we've got going down as well. 1.8% going downhill. Oh, and it's leveled out. As soon as I say that, we level out. There we go, we're hanging on at the right speed. Got a 60 zone coming up. Just got to wait for the back of the train to clear, I think. 80 zone coming up in a couple of hundred yards as well. Come on, 80. Any moment now. There we go. Now we can really crank up the power. Diamond Pro says he's getting the game for his birthday. When is your birthday, Diamond Pro? How far away is it? Because you have just missed out on some sales. The game was on sale quite recently, but came off beginning of last week, I think it was, having been on sale through most of January. So it may well be on sale again in the not too distant future. There we go to coast. Hold speed just under 80. 3.5 minutes to do 3.5 miles, but we are doing over 60, so we should get there reasonably well. try and keep as close to 80 as we possibly can. We have got a slight uphill gradient, so if we just coast, we will bleed off some speed. Just try and find the right setting to keep the speed and stop it from dropping. I think that might be it, actually. Devon says, I sent him a friend request. Actually, no, Devon, it was your friend request that you sent me, I think, last week, that I accepted earlier today. See if we can just squeeze an extra couple of miles an hour out of this. We found the setting to hold our speed. We can just inch it up ever so slightly. 2 miles to go. We are hauling that track in nice and quickly, and there, slight increase in our speed. I've got to slow down to 60 in about a mile's time. And Alex has popped in the chat. How are you doing today, Alex? Good to see you. Start to ease down just a little bit. Slow down from that 60 zone. We're a little bit too fast, not too much. And we get the chance to speed up to 70, but we're approaching the station, so we'll hold speed, I think. Just go minimum brake for now. Let's see how we're doing time-wise. We've got time. We're on time. We're doing quite well. Need to slow down quite quickly, though. There we go, into the 35 zone. Making our approach to the platform. I'm not sure how good these brakes are, so I'll start slowing down quite quickly, I think, just to make sure we don't overshoot. There we go, that'll do. Let's get those doors open. And let's take a look at the outside of our train as well. How many cars are we running on this? Let's see, 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cars. Oh, wow, that's quite a long train. That is going to take a bit of slowing down. Oh, I need to lock the doors. Go. And off we go. So we've got 2 minutes to do just over a mile. This one might be a little bit tougher. What's the volume setting like, guys? Is it too loud? Do I need to change the volume at all? Can you hear me clearly? Give it the beans just before we approach the station. There we go. Just gonna move over a little bit as well so we don't keep getting bashed in the face by telegraph poles. Start to ease that speed down a little bit. Not fast enough. Let's slow down a bit faster. There we go. That's a bit better. It looks like we are going to make it on time, just. Have to be quick in the turnaround though, otherwise we risk dropping off the schedule. There we go, look at that, perfect. Absolutely perfect positioning right at the edge of the platform. Got lucky there. Oh, time to lock the doors. And off we go to Nassau Boulevard. 2.5 minutes to do a mile. Oh, this should be easy. As long as I don't get any bad speed limits, we'll be fine on this one. In fact, we've got, what, a 70-mile-an-hour zone at the moment? Yeah, we should do this one easy. He said. Famous last words. Is this the metro route? This is... no, this is the Long Island Railroad. It's the main above rail route, I think. Start to slow her down again. We're getting some slowdown on this one. A few bits of frame rate lag popping up. And there we go. Let's try and find a slightly easier camera angle to work for stopping distances. There we go, a bit closer to the front of the train, I think. Doesn't seem to be many passengers on our service today. I haven't seen any passengers just yet. Doors are closed. We're off to Garden City. Hop over to the other side of the train, I think. There we go. So another short run. Let's just go to coast. We've got a 60 zone coming up in a few hundred yards on the approach to the station. Actually, we've got plenty of time to make it to Garden City. It's a baseball pitch. It is. Oh, we've got a red signal up ahead. That might clear by the time we actually come off the platform. There we go, that's close enough. Get the doors unlocked. Just see them opening there. And very few passengers. I mean, they do seem to be on the lower part of the platforms, but I don't think there's actually anybody on the train. I haven't seen a single person actually riding the train. That is really, really disappointing if that's the case. Yeah, I don't see a single person inside our train here. And it's a long train as well. That just seems really, really silly. I don't know, maybe it's a performance thing. Bit of a shame if that's the case. I mean, when you consider how many passengers we had, you know, getting on and off our coaches on the Transpennine route, and here we come on this one, which is a famously busy passenger service, and there's absolutely nobody on the train. That is just a bit off. Let's get those doors closed. Actually got a train coming. I need to make sure I don't get clobbered by that. There we go. And we've got 3 and a bit minutes to do half a mile with a good healthy speed limit along the way. So we can be a little bit more relaxed on this one, I think. Oh, got a 30 zone coming up. Just noticed that. That's because we're switching, look. Slow down to 15. For this curve here. Points and a level crossing in close proximity. That's why we have to slow down to 15 there. all taking place on a bend as well. Once the back of the train clears that, we might hopefully get a slightly faster speed. Yeah, back up to 30. It's still pretty slow. You can see, if I get down like this, you can see how the train leans and slopes from side to side as we go around these corners. It's the camber built into the rails as a way of helping to stop them from going flying off the corners. Oh, look at that, station's here, look. That's nice and quick and easy. And again, we're ahead of schedule as well. Slowly add a little bit of brake. Bit more brake than that. And there we go, let's get the doors open again. Anyone getting on or off? Again, look, empty train. Nobody getting on or off the train. This is really disappointing. Really disappointing to see a complete lack of passengers on one of the busiest passenger services anywhere, really. Alright, there we go. Let's head off to the next stop at Hempstead. We've got a minute and a half, so we'll have to be a little bit faster on this one. Camera bumped us because we ran into a sign. We're still in a 15 zone. Going too fast. There we go. Now we can start to accelerate a bit. I think we'll just stay at 30. We're on approach to the station. I'm not quite sure why we have a flashing red 15 on our display there. Oh, what's happened? Are we stalled? Have I forgotten to do something? Got an alarm that's flashing. How do I deal with that? I got no power. I've missed some kind of warning. I'm not quite sure what I need to press to clear that warning. Ah, no. How do I deal with this? It's not the ADU. I can see the warning flashing, but I can't see a way to deal with it. Oh, acknowledge. Is that it? No. It's not the emergency brake. Ah, why won't my train go? Something's happened to my train, and I don't know how to get it going. There's something, I've obviously got to acknowledge something, and I don't know what it is. I don't know what I'm supposed to be acknowledging here. But we've come to a complete stop, which is not good. Is it up here? No, no controls up here. I'm looking for something. Anything to indicate what it is I'm supposed to be doing here. I don't see anything at all. How do I get my train started again? That's all the door controls. What am I missing? It can't be the brakes, surely not. Let's try charging the brakes again. It's not that. Oh, this is so frustrating. If anyone knows what I need to do, please do let me know in the comments, because we're stuck here at the moment. I have no idea how to clear whatever fault we've got. I'm missing something. I don't know what it is. There's something I need to press. Yeah, this train's just stalled completely. Got nothing. Let's turn the master key off if I can. I can't even turn the master key off. Trying to find anything that can... See if restarting the train will clear whatever the issue is. Brakes charged. Oh, there we go. Whatever the problem was, I've managed to get the train going again by restarting it, but we are now we are now 6.5 minutes late to arrive at Hempstead. So somehow I seem to have managed to stall the train somehow without even realising. But we have got that back and underway again. Still got that flashing 15. I really don't know what that actually is supposed to represent. Sometimes this game can be incredibly vague as to what it is you're actually supposed to do in certain situations. Just kind of leaves you to fend for yourself. There we go. We finally made it. Or did we? And tell me I've got to move forward a little bit more. Ah, I've done it again. I've stalled. I've stalled out the engine. Ah. Oh, yeah, I've got no power again. Alright, let's try... Looks like we're a couple of just a couple of yards short. Let's take a look exactly what the situation is. Ah, look at that. We are just literally a tiny little bit short. Let's see if we can edge forward a bit more. There we go. I didn't want to hit the buffers at the end of the track, so we're 9 minutes late because the train stalled out twice. But we made it. We are now back underway, I hope. Farmer Pierce has dropped in the chat. How you doing, Farmer Pierce? I still have that weird flashing 15 there. So now we've got to shut the engine down again. Reverser, we'll put that into emergency. Reverser to key out. Take the key out. Turn the lights off, head to the other end of the train. It'd be quicker to go out rather than... Can I go? Oh, I can't go out through there, can I? Let's through the door. There we go. Be quicker to actually run down the platform. And we do need to run because we are very, very late. It's a long old trek. There's a lot of internal doors to have to open to switch between the cars if we try to stay inside the train. Right, let's get the door done. Sit down. So, lights on. Key on. Reverser to forward. Throttle to max brake. Let's charge the brakes. Okay. Passengers loading up. Stand by to lock the doors, and then we just need to go as fast as we can. I don't think we can make any real time up on the route. We might be able to make up a minute or two, but even so, we're going to be late arriving at all of our remaining stops on the return journey. And there we go. So I'm going to be there at 8:28. It's already 8:35. I think we're very, very late for that one. A 15-mile-an-hour zone coming up soon as well, which does not help. And this is that slow corner as we go over the points and the level crossing on the approach to the station. Oh, looks like we've got the station first to deal with. Okay. I could have come in here a little bit faster. Never mind. Lost the opportunity to crawl back a little bit of time there. Let's get the doors open. Is anyone getting on the train this time? Let's take a quick look. Still not seeing any passengers. I mean, I know we were late, but oh, we have somebody on the train. We have 3 people on the train. Result. Oh, I've just opened the wrong set of doors. Oh, don't tell me the other doors are still open. They are. Oh, what a disastrous run that we're having. There we go. Definitely could have done better. But at least we have passengers this time. Crawl our way over this this corner. Next station, Garden City. We needed to be there nearly 9 minutes ago. Just coast our way, and you can see another train there just paused waiting for us to clear this this section here. Obviously that train should probably already have been through there. We're holding everything up because we're so far behind schedule. So it's not just our passengers we're affecting, it's everyone else's trains are being affected as well. It's a whole snowball effect that trickles down the rest of the service all the way down the line. Right, so 8:41. We should have been here 8:31. We are just a fraction under 11 minutes behind schedule. Let's see if we can claw any of that time back on the return run. I don't think we will. Maybe a minute at most, I think. There we go, doors are locked. Tom asks, where is this based? This is the Long Island Railroad, so this is Long Island, New York. Alright, finally we've got a nice fast stretch. We can open up the taps. now got to start to strangle that speed off again, having just gone all the way up there as we run up towards the station. So we can get right on the edge of the platform here. Almost. That'll do. It's close enough. So we actually clawed back about a minute. Actually, no, we had to be here, what, 8:35. We got here. We clawed back about nearly 2 minutes already. That's pretty good. I still don't think we're going to hit a scheduled arrival time at our final stop, but we can get closer to it, and that's a good thing. Doors are locked. Stuart Manor, 8:38. How far away is that? Less than a mile. I don't know if it's because of the update or because I'm running boost mode, which I've been told supposedly makes this game run better, but this seems to be running worse than the last time I played the Long Island Railroad, so I don't know if the patch today has actually made performance more of an issue, but it seems to be a lot rougher. It certainly seems to have a lot more frame rate issues than it did than I remember having last time I was here. Big lag spike coming into this station here. I'm not sure what's causing it, but it's not running anywhere near as smoothly as I remember the last time we came here. And it's certainly not as smoothly as other running sessions on different packs. A little concerning. Again, we're 9 minutes behind the schedule now, so we have pulled back that 2 minutes or so. We were about 11 minutes behind schedule at one point. Get the doors locked. And off we go to Flora Park, which is 1.3 miles away. We're not going to break the speed limits intentionally. We're not going to plough through it like 90 through the 60 zone. We'll stick to the proper speed limits that are assigned. We just have to accept however bad our rating's going to be at the end of the day, but hopefully it won't be too bad. Welcome Dan, good to see you popped in the chat. have to really slow down around this corner here, but we will be able to open up again. Well, we've got the station right coming up after this, so there we go. And once again, we managed to pull back a few seconds. Not much, but just a few seconds. So hopefully on this next run, which I think will be our final stop, we should theoretically be able to pull back a little bit more time, because this is the express run. Yeah, now we've got the express run to Jamaica. 8:50. Yeah, well, it is 8:50 now, so we're definitely not going to arrive on time. But if we can pull back some of this time, that's a good start, I think. Just get through this 60 zone. An 80 zone coming up, and then we can really floor it. Killer Scott says, if only this was multiplayer, it would make it a lot more fun having to keep to a schedule or a timetable. Yes, it would, but inevitably there would be somebody who would deliberately hold up the schedule and troll everybody else by not being able to run past them. Guarantee that would happen at least once. We've got a 30 zone coming up. Oh, we've got a red light coming as well. Gotta stop, can't go through the red. There we go, it's changed to yellow. Could have failed us. Oh, we're going too fast again. Oh, damn it, I hit the emergency brake. I hope that's not going to stall the train out. It is. It's stalled the train out. This is what happened to us on the first run. I accidentally clipped the emergency. There's got to be a quicker way to reset if we get an emergency like this. So let's put brakes in emergency, reverser to key out, engine off, engine back on. Key to forward. Charge the brakes back up. There we go, we've got power. Nick says he wishes that there was a demo for this game. Yeah, I can see how a demo would be good for people to actually try it out. because it is one of those niche games. You've really got to want to play it. If you're unsure about it, or you don't really have any real sort of passion for trains or anything like that, or simulators, then you probably won't get much out of the game, because this is essentially all it is either watching it from the outside or sitting on the inside and just running up and down on a straight bit of track with a few curves here and there, and just managing your throttle and opening doors and closing doors. That's pretty much all that's involved. There's very little else. There are some variances from pack to pack depending on the services that are in that pack. So some packs will have freight services. Some packs will be just passengers. It depends on the setting as well. I mean, here we are on New York's Long Island Railroad. We've also got the West Somerset Rail, which is a completely different experience, where you don't really go above 25 miles an hour on that one, because that's a heritage railway line. So there are different experiences, different settings. But it's not a cheap game either. The game itself isn't horrifically priced, but the DLCs are not cheap. They're expensive. They're £20 to £25 each for the route packs, depending on the pack. Victor asks, is it always in real time in this game? Yes, always in real time, and that can sometimes mean you have to sit and wait 15 minutes to 20 minutes for a service to get started. When you finish one service and it offers you the chance to run the return loop, sometimes you have to wait quite a while before you can actually engage that. Victor says, did I know a lot about trains before this? I knew a little bit. I've always had a passing interest in trains. I think every kid, every young lad, when they're growing up, has an interest in trains to an extent. Young boys always seem to be fascinated by model railways. I was when I was a kid. I actually had a 00 model railway when I was a kid, and then about 10 years ago I dabbled with an N-gauge railway. But got made redundant and had to sell the setup that I had. But I've always had a passing interest in trains, and playing games where I can keep, keep that kind of model railway kind of thing going in my head. It's an outlet. Games like this are an outlet for that model railway desire when you don't have the money or the space, etc., for a model railway of your own. So games like this allow you to effectively run a model railway on a point-to-point basis. So this would represent an end-to-end layout. Then you have games like City Skylines, to a degree, where you can put railway lines in. It's a bit limited, in that respect. Something like Railway Empire, where it's dedicated to just running a railway network, much more hands-on, much more involved. That's always a lot of fun, and they just kind of sate that desire to have a model railway. But if you don't have that interest or that desire for either a model railway or some interest in trains, then it's probably not the game for you. Well, we made it back to Jamaica, and we could have actually made it back a little bit quicker. but we stalled out again because once again I hit the emergency brake by mistake. There we go. Which is what I've done now. We've made our final destination, so it shouldn't matter. We'll probably be turning off in a second. Or at least turning this engine off in a second. But yeah, it started promisingly, and then we just stalled out on our final approach to the other end of our route, and it all went to pot from there. There we go, that's it for this duty. We are done. So doors are closed. Are we going to have to shut the train down as well? Yes, we are. So let's get those lights off. Put the reverser to key out. Take the key out. I don't think I've ever slid that down before. There we go. And let's make our way off the train. And do a runner. Because we're very, 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 very late getting in here. 9 minutes late in the end. And there we go. But, yeah, there we go. See, it all went wrong when we got to Hempstead. Hempstead is where everything went to pieces. We were doing so well up until that point. Ah, dear. Katie's popped to the chat. How you doing, Katie? Good to see you. Right, let's move on to a different scenario. Hopefully it won't stall out on this one. I've just hit next. I have no idea which service is next. Corey asked me which is going to be the best for service of passengers, this or the Northern Transpennine. I would have initially said perhaps the Long Island Railroad, but yeah, I mean even this got updated today, but it doesn't seem to be running very well today for me. I've seen very few passengers. If you like that visual of having a lot of passengers getting on and off your train, get the Northern Transpennine. Alright, so we're assigned to a specific train. Is it going to pull in, or are we going to have to go hunting for it? This might be it pulling in, actually. Oh, no, we're on the wrong side. Just literally picked up my drink and had to put it down again. It won't let me climb the platform. Ah, it's a subway. We have run this scenario before, haven't we? I ran this on my first look. So I'll tell you what, let's run a different scenario, because I have run that one before. I can actually have a swig of my drink now. So, let's see. Yeah, see, that's the one it gave us. We've already done that one before. Let's go with... Let's try maintenance manoeuvre. Killer Scott says, if I hit the emergency brake again, don't worry about turning everything off. Just set max brake and recharge it. Ah, don't know why I didn't try that. Thank you, Scott. I'll give that a try. And Katie asks, am I getting Truck Driver on console when it comes out? Absolutely. I'm desperately waiting for that game to come out. Supposed to have come out last year. Still no release date announced yet. A little frustrated, but as long as it works when it comes out and it plays well, I don't mind waiting a little bit longer. Alright, looks like we're on this one. Will I be doing Subnautica Sub-Zero? Absolutely yes. I absolutely loved Subnautica. Such a fun game. I haven't had that much fun with a game that just completely caught me by surprise for a long time. You know, most of the times, you know, I have fun playing games, but I know what to expect with them. You know, I know how they're going to work, how they're going to run. That game just caught me completely by surprise. And I thought I'd enjoy it, but I didn't think I'd enjoy it quite as much as I did. Had so much fun with that, so I will definitely be covering Sub-Zero when that comes out. Right, let's get the train switched on. Reverser, set that to forward. Max brakes. Charge the brakes up. There we go. Let's get our headlights on. Signal permitting, depart when ready. Be aware congestion may be building by the time we reach Jamaica. Signal is permitting. So go to New York Penn. So our speed limit, 15 miles an hour. Would I play Airport Simulator? If that's the one by UIG, then no. I've had a look at it and it looks bad. And it only has a few reviews on the actual PlayStation Store, and I don't think it's got more than 2 stars. It just looks rough. It really does. At the moment, I'm kind of waiting on a couple of things. Obviously, we're waiting for more news on when Sub-Zero is going to launch. It's just gone into early access on PC. They're looking at perhaps trying to get it in early access on Xbox. And obviously, PlayStation doesn't have an early access program. Just seen the gradient. 3.5% was it for a second then. That's steep. It's very steep. There we go. Speed back under control again. So we're waiting on news for Sub-Zero for PlayStation users. I did actually post a link to a tweet, to a thread on the Unknown Worlds forum about it that they tweeted out a couple of days ago. I reposted that and stuck the link on my Facebook page as well. And beyond that, I'm also waiting, obviously, for news on Truck Driver. I'm waiting for the update for Railway Empire to drop with the new stations, the new warehouses and maintenance buildings. I'm waiting for that patch to drop before I do another series on that. We've got an announcement on City Skylines from the developers in a couple of days for console users. And I initially thought at the time that it might be the Industries DLC being announced for console, but I've been thinking about it over the last day or two as we get close to that announcement, time, and I'm starting to wonder if maybe it's to do with mods. I mean, Xbox has had mods in some form for a while now for City Skylines, but I'm not too sure exactly how it works because I don't have an Xbox. But there's been no talk about it from them other than when they first announced mods coming to Xbox. They said they were looking at ways that they could maybe try and get some mods on PlayStation. I'm wondering if maybe the announcement might be they're doing some kind of mod hub in the way that Giants have one for Farming Simulator. That would be interesting. So there's a few things, you know, that I'm kind of waiting on, and just have to play that waiting game, see what happens, see what shakes out. As far as Truck Driver goes, I would imagine at the earliest we're probably looking at an April release. Just looking at that gradient, 0.8%. We're going to start picking up speed again pretty soon. There we go, look, already. Let's hit minimum brake. Oh, no, we've got some speed. We can whack it all the way up to 60. There we go, we'll coast. We've got a pretty strong downhill gradient of 1.5%. That'll keep us accelerating up to 60. In the next few months we've also got Tropico 6 coming out, and I will be featuring Tropico 6 on the channel when that comes out. Looking forward to that one. Plus we're still waiting on a date from Playway, I think it's Playway, about, no, Astragon, sorry, about Bus Simulator, as to when that's going to come out. We know it's going to come out this year, but we don't know when, and I don't think they know when yet either. There's certainly been no hint as to when that's going to come out. And more importantly, I'm waiting for a new map for Farming Sim as well. Desperate to kind of get back into that, but I'm not inspired by the maps that are out there. I've already put over 100 hours on Fellsbrunn. I've got no desire to play on Ravenport. I just don't like that map, and I've played way too much on the San Lapacho from 17 to really want to stick another couple of 100 hours on that. So I'm just kind of stuck in limbo with Farming Sim at the moment. Victor says maybe try not to delete my save game this time for Subnautica, for the Sub-Zero DLC. Yeah, I'm making sure that save game does not get deleted. But I am working on a separate hardcore private playthrough, so I may possibly use that one. We'll see. At the moment I am passing the time by working on my Platinum Trophy for Construction Simulator 2. Obviously when I featured that on the channel, I featured it on my older profile. Now I've got my new profile set up. I've been playing some of the older games, just knocking out the Platinum Trophies. A few days ago, I think it was the end of the week last week, I Platinumed Farming Simulator 17 in a day. I played for about 10 hours or so, got all but one of the trophies. And then got some sleep, and then loaded back up and did the help every single farmer on the map trophy, and that was it, Platinum Trophy. So total play time about 11.5 hours to get the Platinum Trophy. That was my Friday. I think it was Friday, might have been Saturday. But yeah, I started a completely fresh playthrough of Construction Simulator 2 on this new profile of mine, and I've almost got the platinum now. There's only a few trophies left, and I'm about 1.5 million to 2 million short of the 10 million in the bank account trophy. I've still got a fair number of jobs to do to get the 150 jobs trophy. I've got some tutorials I need to do and a few other little bits, but I'm not too far away. All the hard stuff is out of the way. Well, most of the hard stuff's out of the way. I've got all of the hidden coins. Collected all 125 of those. Some of those are really tricky to get to. But the last few days I have been playing that quite a lot, just to plough through it and try and get that platinum done. Dan says, hopefully Marwell Manor will drop for Farming Sim 19 soon. Well, it's been in testing. Hasn't actually been tested for console yet. I know a couple of maps have been in testing and failed. One of which was something on my Chew 2's map. Tombstone, I think it's called. His map failed testing. I'm assuming it's been resubmitted. I do know that Black Sheep look like they're getting close to finishing off the Valley of the Old Stream. Sorry, not the Valley of the Old Stream. Old Stream farm. They've been posting screenshots of that on a semi-regular basis over the last few weeks. And that's looking nice from the little bits that we can see. But we do have stuff on the channel starting from today to keep us going at the very least. Started my playthrough, my proper playthrough on Genesis Alpha 1 earlier today. Game launched this morning. So I got my day one patch. I deleted off all my stuff deliberately from everything that I'd done in pre-release, so I can start from fresh. And I'm giving you guys the opportunity to be part of the crew of the HMS JBPG. So if you want to be part of the crew of the ship on Genesis Alpha 1, then make sure you watch the first episode, and that'll give you details of how you can do that. Christopher's popped in the chat. How you doing, Christopher? Good to see you. Ease that power down a touch. There we go. We should be able to hold speed now. Got to be careful because we are getting yellow signals flashing up in front of us, so we go too fast, too long. If there is congestion on the line in front of us, we do have to be wary that we may have to slow down or even possibly stop. And we do know from the brief at the beginning that as we get closer to Jamaica, we are going to start getting some congestion on the lines, which is why the signals keep flashing yellow to warn us that there's a potential obstacle ahead of us. Now the signals are staying almost constantly yellow. So we are getting a bit of a log jam ahead of us by the look of it. Just eke that power back up a touch. .35-mile-an-hour zone coming up in just over half a mile. And that may be it on the run to Jamaica from here for our speed then. Just watching those signals, they're staying yellow. Time for us to start slowing down quite quickly actually. I just realised how fast we're going. And a 30 zone, yeah, we're going to be kind of stuck at lower speeds now. We've got a 0.6 to 90 zone, but the station is only 0.7 miles away, so I don't think that's going to be an issue for us. Still getting those yellow signals. I'm waiting for a red one to pop up every time we go round a corner. There we go, there's a red signal, but that's actually at the other end of the station, so that's not a problem for us. We'll just start to slow down now. Oh, 15 zone, that snuck up on us pretty quickly. Dan's disappearing to go and watch Genesis Alpha 1 before he has to get up for work. Thanks for stopping by, Dan. Hope you enjoy Genesis Alpha 1, and who knows, maybe you will be part of my crew. Alright, so we're here, waiting to pull into Jamaica, I think. What do we do next? Minor congestion ahead, be on the move again shortly. Okay. No route available yet. Randy, I haven't seen you for a while. How you doing? Thanks for stopping by. I'm tempted to creep up to that red signal. Let's just eke our way forward a little bit. This might not be a very good idea. Sneaking through here. Oh, there we go. We've got a green light. Randy says he's been watching the Subnautica series again. I'm glad you're enjoying that series. I had a lot of fun making that, a lot of fun playing that game, and I will at some point do a Subnautica live stream. Might save that for the weekend. Corey asks, will I do 911 Operator again? Yes, probably. Having fun with that as well. It's a nice fun little game to pass the time. So I might be streaming that this weekend instead, I'm not sure yet. Over the switches. The 30 zone coming up. We just about hit the 80 zone. Immediately we have to slow right down again. Now we've got a 10 zone coming up. Yeah, it's Baron Papa. Sad that Subnautica is over. Yeah, I'm a little sad as well. Like I said, really enjoyed that. That was such a fun series to make. Oh, I'm accelerating. I thought I was braking. There we go. That's better. I was actually a little disappointed with some of the responses I got with Subnautica, actually. Some people just immediately disliked it simply because it wasn't Farming Simulator. So every day, you know, they would go, well, where's Farming Simulator, and drop a dislike on the video just because it wasn't Farming Simulator. And that was a bit annoying, but, you know, it is what it is. Also got a lot of people saying, oh, you don't know what you're doing, and I said at the very beginning of the series, I don't know what I'm doing, so they weren't pointing out anything that I wasn't already aware of. I knew I was going to make mistakes on that game. It's a survival game like that is not something that I play on a regular basis, as anyone who's watched my channel can attest to. But I enjoyed the experience a lot more than I thought I would. I was a bit apprehensive as to how it would be with the survival scavenging mechanics, having played and not really enjoyed that much No Man's Sky. But of course No Man's Sky was a huge disappointment when it came out, and even when I started playing it after they patched it a bit, it was better, but it was still a bit apparently now it's even better. I may possibly go back and try No Man's Sky again at some point, but I don't know. I don't know if I want to subject myself to that game again. But I said when I concluded the series, I said, could I have, you know, been faster in my working my way through the series? Yes, absolutely. You know, did I make mistakes? Of course I did. You know, but did I have fun along the way? Absolutely. still stuck in this slow 10-mile-an-hour zone. We need to kick on and get a little bit more speed. Otherwise it's going to take us forever to actually arrive at the complex. Baron Papa says it wouldn't have been that entertaining if I'd already known everything. Well, that was my thoughts exactly. I mean, I wanted to do a blind playthrough, so you know, I'd heard about Subnautica when it came out in full release on the PC, but I didn't know really anything about it. But I heard it was reviewing well and getting, you know, very very positive feedback from people that were playing it. So I figured, if it ever came to console, I would maybe give it a look. But I deliberately kind of starved myself of information on it and didn't watch any footage because I was, you know, hoping that it would come to console. And I knew it was already in sort of early release for Xbox, so I was confident that it would come to full release on PlayStation, which it did do. And so I deliberately starved myself of information on that. I didn't watch any footage, didn't go looking at, you know, how to do this, how to do that, because I wanted my blind playthrough experience to be a genuine blind playthrough experience and not a fake one. Somebody who already knew everything about the game and just pretended to not know what they were doing. Because you can tell when someone is you know, genuinely surprised by things, and someone who's, oh wow, I didn't expect that, with the wiki open on the same screen. You can tell when someone's putting it on. You know, it doesn't sound very good. You know, it spoils the moment, and I didn't want that to spoil the series, so I deliberately kept myself in the dark on the game, especially as soon as I found out it was definitely coming out. And I'll do the same with Sub-Zero. Sub-Zero is in early release for PC, either now or about to drop for PC in early release, and I will avoid everything about that so that it doesn't spoil my blind playthrough of that when it comes out. Because once again, I want those, you know, oh my god moments and jaw dropper moments to be genuine. Oops. This train will not be stored on one track, therefore it must be broken into small segments. Ah, we're going to have to break this train into pieces. Okay. Head to the cab indicated. I'll let you go through the train this time. It's amazing how long 135 yards is when you're on foot. I didn't think it would take us this long to move through the train. Alright. Made it. So, uncouple key. Ah, here we go. Hold for at least 2 seconds. There we go. Now run all the way back again. Okay, lovely. At least the doors will still be open this time, I think. Oh, no, the doors are closed behind us. One more coach. There we go. There's our doorway. Okay, the next set should be moved to transfer track 4. We'll need to set our own junctions. Okay, so let's take a look. We're here. So we need to make sure that our junctions are set. Let's zoom in a bit more. That one's okay. That one's okay. That one's okay. Alright, so this one's fine. At least for this bit. We'll probably have to reverse and then back into these sidings on a different siding, and that's when we'll need to change our sidings, you know, and flip the switches ourselves. Mr. Wiggums, good to see you. How you doing? Crawling across the points at minimum power, 10 mph speed limit. This could take a little while. Go external. Did we actually leave any of the train behind? I guess so. There we go. So, now, let's take a look. Where do we need to actually park? Yeah, on the next siding, look. So we need to be here, which means we need to check all of our signals along here. So, this blue line here is where we need to be. So, that's good. That one's good. That one's good. I thought I said I had to change my own points. These are all fine. Oh, that one's wrong. There we go. So, reverse it into reverse. Let's pan the camera around so I can see what I'm doing. Suppose I could have just switched to the rear camera. That might have been a bit easier. Never mind. Would I rather this was a company game where I had to pick a route and earn money to buy new trains? I'm happy with the way the way it is, you know, and it's just The only problem I have with this is that the DLCs are so expensive that if you're on a budget, it really does limit your experiences. If the DLCs were cheaper, then I would be happier. I do feel they are a bit too expensive. I mean, when you think that the base game isn't horrendously expensive on its own, and then this expansion here cost 35, well, cost another 25 quid. That's 30 bucks just to play the Long Island Railroad. That's a lot. That's almost the price of the game itself. I think the game was 35. So when the expansions are almost as much as the actual base game, that's a lot of money to pay up for just one route pack. Yeah, I think we're on the wrong line here. Yeah, we've ended up on the wrong line. Look, we should be on this one here. So, I need to go back in to the cab. Gee, I could have done it from outside. Never mind. Let's charge the brakes back up. Thank you, Scott, for that pointer. Let's put the reverse zone forward. Let's pull back over those points, and then we'll flip the last one and get onto the correct siding. Luckily, we don't have a time limit on this one. So let's flip that switch. Oh no, we're still not far enough. It's not that switch, it's this one here. So I still need to go back a bit more. Did I change my reverser direction? No, good. Oh, I've got to be wary of this signal now. That could possibly be a problem for us. I hope I've got enough space to clear this point. Oh, this is going to be tight. This is going to be really tight. If we go through that red light, we're screwed. We passed it at danger. We still had time. We still had distance, but we failed the scenario. That sucks. Alright, we'll replay that. We know what we need to do. Just have to be more careful with my point selection next time. Do I only play this on streams, or do I play it off camera as well? I do sometimes play it off camera, not very often. Especially now that we're going to be doing this with a live stream every Tuesday. I don't want to burn myself out on the game and on the routes. I want to leave them feeling reasonably fresh for you guys. But I did spend a couple of days, a couple of weeks ago, playing the... what am I thinking of? The West Somerset Rail pack. I went and got all the collectibles on the West Somerset Rail. All 70, 80 of them, or whatever it was, 90 of them. There's a lot of collectibles. I got all of them, basically. And obviously I did that off camera. So I do play it off camera every now and again, but it's mainly only for very specific things. You know, I'll be running the services mainly on camera, but every now and again I will play them off camera as well, just to make progress on the trophies and start pushing the game towards a platinum. Be a while before I ever achieve it on this one though. Right, so master key on. Master controller. Oh, I've got to do the reverser first, haven't I? There we go. Max brake. Charge the brakes. While those are charging, let's get the lights on. Brakes are done. Let's make our way down the line. At least we know it's going to be a relatively straightforward journey. It's going to take us a little while to get back to our service point. But it's going to be a relatively smooth, clean run. In fact, I think what we'll do this time is... sure the marker lights are on. We'll do this external this time. Oops, getting bounced around a bit inside the tunnel. I forgot that really steep gradient just there. Alright, trying to do this in cab. Sorry, yeah, just external of the cab might be a bit tricky for this first bit. Let's weave our way through the station. See, these concrete pillars are really close up against the edge of the train. There's very little wiggle room at all. I'm going to get smacked in the face again. I have to move aside a bit. There we go. Which means we may get thumped in the face by a train. An oncoming train. You never know. There's an Amtrak there, look. I wonder if that's the same one that's on the NEC New York pack in the base game content. It's just coaches. Can't see a loco attached. You can't see down the other end. I'll have to keep an eye out for that next time we see some Amtrak coaches, see if they're hooked up to one of the NEC units. I have to tuck in quite close now just to avoid the tunnel walls. How's that for tight? Can push out just a touch. go. Starting to pick up speed just a little bit on this downhill gradient, and there is the change in speed that is given to us. The 60-mile-an-hour zone is there. It starts strobing those lights. Evening, Alf, all right? Good to see you pop in. That will do. The gradient will get us up to 60, no problem at all. I may have to apply minimum brake here to stop us from speeding. The minimum brake is not enough. About 10%. Will 10% hold us? Yeah, 10% will... Oh no, that's still not enough. 15% maybe. Oh, that gradient's easing off now. In fact, it's gone. It's now 0.5% uphill gradient. Now 1.2. 1.3. That's bleeding off that excess speed. It's going to take our main speed down as well. Still no sign at the end of the tunnel. Just ease some of that power off a little bit. Oh, there we go. Daylight. We're outside and thumped in the face by some overhead pantographs. Move to the side of it. There we go. Just slalom my way past these. We're getting clobbered. There we go. Got a 30 zone coming up. Start slowing down for that. We got bumped. I had a feeling it was going to happen at some point. I'm surprised we got away with it as long as we did. Let's stay on this side of the train, I think. Might be a bit safer for us. Zone coming up in just under 500 yards, so we've got to keep one eye on that. Let's hold fire there, I think, speed wise. Keep it at 20% power to counteract the 0.7% gradient. Oh, that gradient's now downhill. Switch to coast. See all these different routes diverging into one single set of lines. 3 separate routes there, look, all combining into this one level piece of track. To open her back up again once we clear through this station, I think. 60 zone coming up very, very shortly, and then up to 80, about a mile down the line. There's our 60. Corey, that wasn't a mistake with the mass transit in the poll. That is how the pack is listed in the game. It's listed as the mass transit pack. I've got a little bit of a downhill gradient, but we've got that 80 zone about to hit us, so I'm not too worried. Waiting for the back of the train to clear the signal. There it goes. So we'll push up to sort of low to mid 70s. Oh, the gradient's changed. Alright, so we'll keep on pushing through then. 50% should keep us accelerating ever so slightly. I'll drop that down to around 30, 35, and we should hold speed now. See the train buffeting around a little bit on the rails. She's picking up speed. No, the gradient's disappeared, that's why. There we go. We'll ease that down a bit. Let's just pull forward a touch more again. There we go. Less than a mile to go. We have to slam our speed right down at as we approach Jamaica. Then we'll have that kind of hokey hanging around at the red light for a minute or two. Then we can push back on to the depot and make sure that we flip our switches the correct way this time. Part of me thinks that every time I slam the emergency brake on, I should see Spider-Man at the front of the train, just throwing webs out to the side and digging his feet into the rails. That would be a proper emergency brake, that would, if you just see webs flying off the side of the train. Might break the realism of the simulation just a little bit, though. Look at that sun glinting there. Right, time to start slowing the train down. Have I ever considered a truck simulator game? Of course, but there isn't one. Not yet. Still waiting on Truck Driver to come out, and then we'll finally get one on consoles. Minor congestion ahead. We'll be on the move again shortly. Time for us to sit and wait for a minute or two. Let's try eking forward. It kind of worked for us last time we did that. See if it's automatic when we reach this kind of point. This is where the signal changed on us last time as we approached this section here. See if it does it again. Not yet. Alright, let's request a pass. Still no route available. We'll have to slow down to a stop in a minute then. If we go through that red, we're in trouble. We just have to sit and wait for it to go green. As soon as I say that, it goes green. There we go. another service on the next line. Get a bit more power. Right, so this time when we approach the hillside complex, we know we've got to be really careful with our points. Make sure we don't miss a switch. That's what did us in last time, trying to reverse back and fix the problem. We ended up going through a red light, which failed us. And just like that, we're in a 10 zone, and just slightly too fast as well. There we go. Look at that. That huge raised platform in the section there with all those going over all these other lines. It's kind of impressive. That's one thing you have to really take your hat off to the Americans when it comes to mass transit. Mass transit really is mass transit. You don't really see this number of lines running parallel to each other here in the UK unless you're on approach to a major station. Randy asks, Nick asks, is there any DLC coming out? I'm waiting for, what, specifically for this game or just in general? There isn't really any DLC that's been announced for this. The most recent one was the Northern Transpennine, which came out 2 weeks ago. And we played that last week. There's been nothing new announced since that came out. will they bring out a London Underground DLC on Train Sim World? I have absolutely no idea. You would have to get in touch with Dovetail and ask them. I think there's an underground route for Train Sim 19 on the PC. There might not be for 19 actually. There was one I think for 17, but I think that was user created. I think quite a few of the packs that are available to buy on the PC version of Train Simulator rather than Train Sim World, I think users are allowed to create DLC packs for those. They're allowed to create route packs. Whether they charge for those or not, I don't know. I don't really look into it too much because it's all PC only stuff, and you know, I don't tend to bother looking at stuff that's PC only because I know it's PC only and it won't have any impact on the console version. But as far as I know, there hasn't been any kind of announcement of an underground pack for Train Sim World for PC or console, so I'd be surprised. Be nice, but I don't see it happening. And the underground is huge as well. It's lots and lots of different lines, and whether you would have the whole network or only a couple of lines on the network or not, you know, it's how they would do it. It's a big old network, and I don't think we would get the full network. We'd only get a couple of lines. Maybe the is it the Piccadilly line that goes to Heathrow? It's been several years since I was last down in London, so my memory of the tube is not that good, and I've only really used a couple of the lines. But I imagine if they ever did one, it would be the one that goes to Heathrow, because that's quite a long route and goes to the airport. And that would be an obvious choice, I think. I don't know. Maybe there's more that are just, you know, heavily used that are just for commuters in the city itself. I don't know. Alpha Rod asks, not sure if I've spoken about this already, but what are my thoughts on the new Subnautica add-on? I'm looking forward to Sub-Zero. I'm keeping myself on media blackout for that because I don't want it to be spoiled when it does come to console. I know that it's been announced for early access for PC, and they're looking at putting it into early access on Xbox. They can't do that with PlayStation because PlayStation doesn't support early access releases. So I did tweet a link a few days ago to a post saying that they're working on trying to bring the DLC to consoles, and they don't know when it's going to happen, but they are working on it. And as soon as they have any more news as to when it will come, they'll let us know. But beyond that, that's all I'm looking for at the moment. It's just a release date. I'm not looking for gameplay footage. I'm not looking for anything like that because I don't want to spoil it for when I get my hands on it. There is new DLC that will be coming at some point for Railway Empire, though. There's two new DLCs on the way that we know of, as well as a couple of community updates as well. Let's get back in the cab. There we go. Right, so we need to head to the other cab. We'll go outside this time, I think. Might be quicker. I'm assuming we'll be able to climb back up again. Yeah, the two DLCs that are coming up for Railway Empire, no dates released as yet, but or no dates announced. There's the Germany DLC that's coming up next, with a community update, which is the update that's currently being beta tested on PC, and that's the one that brings in the new station types, the new warehouse types, and the maintenance sheds, or the maintenance stations. And then after that, there will also be a France DLC as well. So I think that's got us covered for the next sort of 3 to 4 months for Railway Empire. Just close that door again. Just waiting on release dates for, first the update and then also the DLC as well. Close that door. Never mind. I had wanted to do a sort of a free play on Railway Empire, but as I say, I'm waiting for that community update with all the new station types, and that's going to make a free play much easier with terminus stations and 2-track auto routing stations and all sorts. It's going to be a lot more fun. Did I put this into emergency by mistake? No, brakes are charged. Why am I not pulling away? Oh, I know why. I've got a door open. That's why I can't move. I think I just opened all the doors. Yeah, there we go. What is going on? Disconnected the train. Let's see when that door's still open. It's still open, look. There we go. That's what's been stopping us from being able to move. There we go. Now we can move, look. So this is the bit where we got stuck last time because I didn't check all the points that I needed to switch. We went past the point we needed to go over. And when I tried to back up, we went through a red signal which failed us. We'll be making sure that all of our line is correct this time around, making sure we don't make that mistake again. And this will be the final run that we do tonight, so I want to make sure we do it correctly. gradually approach our break point. There we go. Brakes are charged back up again. Right, let's make sure our signals are correct. So, that's wrong. Need to change that one. There we go. That's good. That's good. This is the one we need to change. This is the one that put us on the wrong line last time. There we go. Right. So, let's switch our camera to the rear camera. There we go. Let's change our reverser to reverse. And slowly pull away. So we should be turning here. Point looks good. Yep, there we go. We're going where we need to go. That's good stuff. Wonder if we'll have to move the other train as well, or if that'll just sit there. Again, just keeping an eye on that 10-mile-an-hour speed. We do have a very slight downhill gradient. We're coasting at the moment. We are creeping up to 11. There we go, we've just hit 11. So let's just engage the minimum brake, bring that back down again. There we go. Just start bleeding that speed down on this final approach. It's got a long distance, but that's to the front of the train. I get the feeling the back of the train is all we need to be. Otherwise, we're in the points themselves. You should never stop on points. There we go. Objective done. So, what's next? Head to the cab indicated. So we are switching over to the other train. Okay. Let's get the door open. Make sure we can close this door as we jump out. There we go. Oh, we're going to the... we're splitting this one up as well, look. Okay. So we're going to be sticking the decouple key in again by the look of it. Hold for 2 seconds. And release. There we go. These final cars should be placed in Facility Track 1. Okay. So, which cars? It's the... which cars is it we're supposed to be using? Where's the facility track? Okay, I'm assuming it's these two that we're in right now that we've got to move. So, let's see. That's where we need to be. Yeah, it's a little 2-car track, look. So, let's make sure that these points are correct here. So that's fine. That's good. That's good. That's good. You know what? I'm not sure actually whether we're supposed to be taking this one here out this way and then bringing it back in. I'm not quite sure which one it is we're supposed to be driving. I think it's this one that's blue. I'm going to assume it's that one. So let's change that switch to there. That switch to there. And let's drive that train to about here. And then we'll back up, come across this point onto this line, and then onto this line, and then follow it round onto there. That's the plan. So, which end of the train am I at? The wrong end. Hear another service rattling through one of the main lines. So, reverse it into forward. A little bit of power. Just need to go forward a little bit more. Need to clear this point here. There we go. Let's change reverser to reverse. Let's check our points. So I need to change. That one is changed. That's good. That's correct. That's correct. These all look right. Yeah, that one's changed automatically. We haven't even needed to change that one. It's done it for us. around this corner. You just see our stopping point coming up ahead of us, and it is just a 2-car stopping point, so we're definitely in the right loco. And there we go, into the correct siding, just in front of the engine shed there. And there we go. So we need to shut down the engine, jump back to our engineer seat. Let's turn the lights off. Reverser into... actually, no, it's the brakes we need to do first, isn't it? Brakes into emergency. Reverser to key out. Take the key out. And there we go. Train is shut down. Good stuff. And let's just complete our duty. There we go, job done. We have finished the maintenance maneuver. So that's it. We've come to the end of another running session here on TSW Tuesdays. Don't forget, I will throw another poll up again in a little while, next sort of 10 minutes or so, 5 to 10 minutes, with the choice of route pack for next week. I'll take the Long Island Railroad out of the rotation so that we don't do the same one 2 weeks in a row. So next week you will be able to choose from the Northern Trans Pennine, the Rursig Nords, West Somerset add-on, or the base game content, so the Rapid Transit, NEC New York, or the Great Western. So those will be your choices. I'll throw the poll up in about 5 minutes' time, and you'll be able to make your choice, and that poll will, as always, run until next Monday to decide next Tuesday's running route. Don't forget, if you haven't done so already, please do check out the start of my new series on Genesis Alpha 1 that went live today, and we'll be doing daily episodes on that. And you can be part of the crew on our voyage on Genesis Alpha 1. The first episode will contain details on how you can volunteer yourself to become part of the mission. I will also keep you up to date with any information I hear on upcoming games and DLCs that I'm either featuring or have featured or plan to feature on the channel, either on my Facebook page at www.facebook.com/JimBobPlaysGames, or one word, or on Twitter at JBPG_JimBob, and details will get posted on those forums as soon as I have anything to share with you. So that's it from me. Thanks for watching. I'm Jim Bob, and I'll be back with some more Train Sim World next Tuesday.